Well, good afternoon. We have a very special guest here with our podcast number 4 in talking about the recruiting journey. So I would like to introduce you to Zuri Patterson. Zuri, tell us all about you and your journey.
So first off, I would like to start with my journey that I was a freshman in high school when, I started getting college interests and I was really excited. I got my first letter in the mail from LSU and I was like, wow, this is like real. And then freshman year was kind of interesting. I lost my dad to cancer really quickly, and that kind of derailed my life and my recruiting process, I want to say, and how I was doing mentally. But, I've just faced a lot of challenges in my recruiting journey. Sophomore year was even like better than freshman year. I got a lot more college interest and started going to camps and getting really excited about the future. And then junior year, well, the summer before junior year hits, we were
The
in
big summer,
Colorado.
right? Like the big
Yeah,
exciting one.
big
Yeah.
exciting summer. We were in Colorado, and it was the first, like I was the first day I was there, and it was the big organization workout, and I was the last one to go on this running drill, and I tear my Achilles, and I just remember. It was like really loud pop, and I was like looked back. I thought someone threw a ball at my foot, and I was on the ground. And then my coaches came running over and I was starting to cry. And they were like, wow, you must be in a lot of pain. I was like, nope. I was crying because my season was over.
Oh, that hurts. And
Yeah,
I'll never forget that phone call. It just rocked us, right? Because it was like
yeah,
the beginning of the big moment you've been building up to, all your emails, all your camp invites. And, we were very strategic about where you were going and not going
yeah,
on purpose, right? And then, I mean, I was at an event. I don't know if it was the exact one you were at, but we were like, what the heck do we do now? But I knew your faith, obviously, and
mhm,
all you had been through. And, that was just kind of a moment where you inhale and exhale and go, man, we are all in this together. And this is a family commitment at this point. And I hated the word, but I think I said to your mom, well, it's a good thing I'm a good insurance plan because I knew I could keep your experience and who you were as an athlete alive. And so then tell me about rehab and tell me about how you were feeling and how you really got through that because you're not the first or the last student athlete to go through an injury, especially in the heart of the recruiting journey.
yeah. I tore my Achilles June 23rd. And a couple days later, I stuck around to support my teammates and my team and my friends. And then I started to drive back to Iowa, where I live, to get surgery. And I had surgery on the 5th of July. And then I was, scooting around on crutches for a little bit. And then I started physical therapy. I would go to physical therapy 3 times a week, very long sessions, a lot of pain, just and it was more mental than physical because
Yes.
the beginning of physical therapy was just making sure that I could walk correctly and like using like pushing off on my foot correctly. And then when I started getting better at that, then we started doing more advanced stuff like jumping and just things that you would never think of that you had to relearn how to do and
Kind
how
of
to,
humbling, right? Kind of physically
yeah,
humbling, yeah. Being so
very humbling.
active and doing all that. I always wonder though, in physical therapy, do they talk about the how you are feeling, not just how your body is feeling?
Um, Not the one I went to really. I don't really think so. It's just mainly like, how are you doing physically?
Right.
Yeah,
Always wonder if that's a hint we could give some of them because I think we forget about that part that
yeah.
it's you personally are going through it too. It's not just physically, but a lot of thoughts going through your head. So was there anything that you did specific to keep your mind focused that you were physically getting through it, but how were you emotionally getting through it?
it was really hard, I would say. It's just seeing all my friends that are 25 starting to commit and, really exciting for them. I was really excited for them, but it's just really hard when, not like a lot of interest started to slow down and stop. And it was
Right.
really hard to I was getting camp invites and having to tell the schools I got hurt and, I'll be back in a little bit, but it's still just the what if. That was a big,
Yeah.
like, coming back into softball, just like I'm, known as a big power hitter, and
Yes, you are.
it's just like, so what if I can't be the same Zuri that everybody knows me as?
Well, I have to say, you are the same Zuri we all know you to be, and you did come back with a vengeance. And I don't know if it was the first event you were at, but the first one we were at together was Top Gun, and it was the multi-school camp. And I'll let you tell your story because it happened to me too at the same time, right? But I think you were out on the field and just hitting the heck out of the ball. And one of the coaches at Washington came running up to me and he literally like, why is Zuri not committed? And I was like, you didn't know. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And he said, I'm calling Coach Tar right now. And I said, oh my gosh, this would be a dream come true. And it literally was that moment. So how was it on your side? Because that was the first time I knew that they were excited about you.
I would see Coach Glass around previously before I got hurt. I never really like thought much of it. It's just like, oh, just people interested in me and my bat. And then that tournament, Top Gun happened, and that was really big. I had my coach come up and say that, Coach Glass from Washington really likes you. And I got a message from our head director, Greg Dickel, he gave me his number and said, Coach Glass wants you to call him. And I was like, oh, I have to call him myself. That was really
That's
scary.
awesome. Yes.
But yeah, it was okay. And, Coach Glass would just, every game, he would always be there in the stands. And it was just, wow, he would just follow from, you know, from field to field. And that was really exciting. And then I got to meet him after a game for the first time. And he just talked about Washington and talked about Coach Tard. Like, we would like love to have a Zoom meeting or just a meeting to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And so, we talked, and this was before Colorado of 2024.
Mhm.
And we planned to meet for lunch. And that was really exciting. Never been to lunch with a college.
Yes,
And
that's
it was
awesome.
most of all the coaches, and it was really scary, but I got through it and just was trying to be myself and not trying to overthink it. And it's just a good get to know you.
Yes, yes. And I love that. I think that that's what's missing, honestly, in the recruiting process. And I think it's kind of a godsend for you because yours happened a little later, but for, the class before September 1st doesn't get this opportunity to really chat and have interaction with the student athlete or the coaches. And I think that's really missing. I hope that there's some changes in the works that are going to allow some little bit more conversation and get to know you before the offers and the pressure and the
Yeah.
instant reaction or lack thereof, right? There's some lack thereof interaction and reaction too. So I actually like recruiting when it's open and you can have the conversations. And yet, like you said, you were feeling a little under pressure because watching everybody around you commit, was a little hard. So what tips would you give the younger group behind you?
I would say stay faithful. I know it might not be everyone's thing to have faith and stuff, but I relied heavily on my faith and just knowing that there's a bigger plan for you and just to keep working. My dad always used to say that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. So you can be
Oh,
the
I love it.
talented athlete, most talented athlete ever. But if you don't work, then somebody else is going to outwork you. So you just want to keep working and just try to be the best version of yourself. I know it's really hard, especially in the softball world, to like, oh, like I have really great teammates. My teammates are awesome. And it's really hard to not compare yourself to others. But I would say just try to be the best version of yourself is like the most, is like the best thing possible.
That is fabulous. You just said some of the most important, empowering advice, and I hope we can capture it in this video here today. And we definitely want to keep our eyes on you. You're committed to the University of Washington. Go Huskies!
You know, Huskies.
Yes, we're so excited, and we're all going to be watching your journey. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Because we would like to keep you out there and keep people connecting with you, and get the watching audience to keep their eyes on Zuri Patterson, committed to Washington. So anything else you would like to finish with?
Yes, I would like to give a big shout out to Ira Premier, especially director Greg Dickel, and my coaches Carlos James and Chad Anthony and Johnny Hutchins, and just everyone a part of IPF, future and past teammates. I would like to give a big shout out to CSA and
Oh,
Sherry.
oh, thank
Very
you.
helpful. It was very nice to, even as an athlete, when the coaches cannot talk to you, but they can talk to, people like Sherry, and she can rely the message to you. And now you're kind of inside the loop and know instead of just outside. I would like to give a shout out to my mom, Shadi
Yes,
Patterson.
she's the best.
She is. She's really held it together, especially, with the loss of my dad, who I also like to give a shout out to
Yes.
for pushing me to be the best athlete. And now to have a support in heaven is just so great. And just to know that I have a guardian angel up there watching me
Oh,
and
you're going to
cheering
make me
me
cry.
on. And just carrying me on is just so special.
Well, thank you for taking me personally and CSA on your journey. You're an absolute pleasure. We're going to be with you till you graduate college, here for the bumps in the mountains and in the valleys. But we are excited about you, Zuri, and it's just been an absolute pleasure. So thank you again.
Thank you.